can check it if you wish.
Tuesday after lunch.
Yeah, and it's not raining right at the moment, so.
Yeah. It doesn't sound good for tonight either. It's talking, or no, Wednesday night.
I can't believe how it just kept raining and raining and raining yesterday. It's like, come on, stop.
It's supposed to be less than a tenth. I took yesterday afternoon to put my Christmas lights up outside.
Oh, you did?
Did you get wet?
Yep, I did.
I put mine up on Saturday.
Yeah.
The radio station says you only had 1,800 on the way here this morning.
That's correct.
Jeff,
I took my rain gauge down so I don't.
1,800 yesterday? That's what the radio station
That's what the
said.
National Weather Service reported to us was 1,800. So
Yeah.
Brant got 4,600.
Yeah,
So
where I was running the taxi
at the
yesterday and the
airport.
water was running off the road. It was like, yeah, come on.
that was measured at the airport.
That's just before Thanksgiving.
Crazy.
My blowers on and tractors all fueled up and ready to go, so whatever.
Well, the thing
It's 9 o'clock.
is nobody wants more water.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is 9 a.m. Tuesday, November 19th, and it is time for our weekly meeting of the Cudahy County Board of Commission. We'll open the meeting with the pledge. Lee, will you lead us today?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Lee. Housekeeping, if you got a cell phone, please silence it or turn it off. If you do get a call you have to take, please step out into the rotunda area so you don't disrupt the meeting. Also, this meeting is being streamed live, so if you address the board, you will be on the live stream, just for your information, a heads up. Is there anyone in the audience this morning that has any item that they would like to bring to the board that is not on the agenda? We'll certainly allow time during the open for you to address your concerns or whatever they may be, but I see none. So is there any conflict of interest issues on the agenda for any of the board members?
No.
No.
How about a
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second the motion.
A motion by Hatton, second by Van Duzen. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. What about the
Move to
November 12th
approve
minutes?
as emailed.
A motion by Hatton, second by Gable. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Next item on the agenda is a time for a public hearing and action to renew the 2020 liquor license for the following businesses: the Rooster Bar, South Fork Lounge, Dakota Sioux Casino, and Country Road Barn. That being said, I guess at this time then we would open it up for public hearing. If anybody has anything that they would like to share with us as a board member, now is your time. Is there anyone of you folks here that would like to share anything with us? Seeing none, then I will declare that the public hearing is closed.
I'll make a motion to approve those licenses.
Second that.
We have a motion and a second.
Cindy, have we heard anything back from law enforcement, any issues?
No.
Okay.
Not heard anything.
Nope.
Do we need to take those individually, Cindy,
No.
or just
No.
as a group?
Do
Okay.
them all at one time.
Yep.
All right.
And your motion was?
To approve the liquor licenses for 2020 for the Rooster Bar, South Fork Lounge, Dakota Sioux Casino, and the Country Road Barn.
Thank you for naming them. And who seconded that motion?
I did.
Is that all right?
Yes.
Okay. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, let's go on then to the monthly reports, and we're going to start right out with the facility managers, and Jeff is here. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
Pretty good.
Oh, just pretty good?
Could be better.
Could be better. Could be worse, all right?
Yeah, I don't have much, but ag building, they're trying to keep them busy out there with auctions and cattle show. They had a few problems with the furnace, but it was all covered by warranty, so they're just doing some painting now and getting ready for the farm show. The courthouse, a few problems with cameras, all repaired by Safe and Secure, and a few minor repairs by our crew. The Detention Center concrete project is done, and just day-to-day things getting done.
Okay, any questions for Jeff?
So the concrete project is finished?
It's finished, yes.
A couple questions, Jeff. On the, they were remodeling that one dorm cell. That's been done for a couple weeks. One of the cells in the detention center, they were remodeling that to make it more secure and getting rid of the drop ceilings and things like that. I don't know if you're following that project, but I think it's done. So
They're all using them. They're using all of them now.
yeah, keep them busy. Okay.
Anything else?
I was going to mention something that Lee and I, we're trying to decide about that Reno-Dry system. We have had those individuals come into the courthouse. So I had an individual from the community that mentioned maybe is the grade around the courthouse proper. And so he came, he used to be a contractor, so he's not in the landscaping business, he has no skin in the game, but he came with Lee and I, we did a walk around, and we can definitely see some areas where we could have issues that when the water is running towards the courthouse, that might be something that would be more beneficial to us at this point, maybe to try to correct that.
I don't really know how that thing's supposed to work. If it's got no power to it and you
Right.
don't put anything in it.
Right.
I think the question though is,
So we're talking about maybe addressing the grade around the courthouse
landscaping?
first. Yeah, landscaping and the
We just
grade.
did the front.
Yep, I know.
well, the grade, it's just, if you look at the, this is something when you look at the whole courthouse block, the grade looks generally okay, but as you get close to the building, there's definitely a few spots where it looks like it's a little lower next to the building, and that could be because there's no gutters on the courthouse. It's just over time that probably has compacted some of the soil close to the building. But whatever the cause of it, it's something that's probably, we should definitely make sure that figure out whether or not that needs to be done.
Where are these areas at, on the west side?
Mostly on this side, I
Well,
think.
the west side, and then there is some on where the new was done, but this individual said you can just pull that fabric back and then slope that and then
Yeah.
put that back over. So it isn't, we wouldn't have
Do
to
we-
totally tear everything up, but.
Do we have a water running into the basement of our courthouse issue?
I've never seen water in the basement down there.
So the
Unless
issue
it's sewer back
really
up.
is just dampness down there. Isn't that part of the Reno-Dry? Isn't that what?
Well, I think there's two different sources. I mean, it just deals with one of the sources of dampness. I mean, I'm pretty open to the idea of Reno-Dry. It's just
mean, I
if
just-
there's a grading problem, though, I think that would probably take.
I hate to
priority.
spend a lot of money on an issue if we're not having an issue.
But I thought Milo said that we do sometimes in one of the corners where he said at one
Yeah,
meeting
it's
that
this
we
corner.
do have water that does come in.
In general, though, the basement is in good shape. I mean, in general, it's pretty
If
dry.
we get a
so-
6-inch rain, we're probably
It's
going to
100 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did Milo mention to you how much, when the water runs in the basement, how much came down at one time?
It was at a public meeting, and I don't remember what he had said, but he told all of us that report when he said about that, so. I don't remember it was like-
I've been down there when there's been a little bit down there in that corner, but anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
just
maybe we need
something to kind of throw out there, just to maybe get an estimate, see what something like that would cost to correct those issues first, maybe.
Okay.
But I can give you the name of the individual that came around too, and I mean, he seemed pretty well versed. That he said he would help with that process if we wanted him to, so.
Maybe after the meeting, we can just touch base real quick.
Yep.
Might be good.
That's going to be something, a project for next spring.
Yeah,
Yeah, oh, yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. But if you'll share that person,
Yep.
since they have some first-hand information
Yeah.
with Jeff.
Yep,
That'll
and
help. Anything else for Jeff?
No,
Good, thank you.
I got Memorial Park.
Go ahead.
Numbers.
Yep.
Final numbers are $156,902. It's almost 10% increase over last year.
Okay, what was that again?
$156,902.
I didn't hear what the item was.
that was the total amount of the revenue. from
Revenue.
Memorial Park.
Okay.
The total Memorial Park revenue is $156,902. You said that's up 10% over last year? Okay.
The breakdown is $4,452 for firewood, $3,543 for building rental, and $148,503.28 for the camping fees. But that's not completely accurate because they're still processing refunds. So, just a lot of this.
What was the firewood?
How much?
What was the firewood?
4,452.
So right now, we're looking at a 10% increase over last year. Is that what you said? Total?
The online reservation process is probably a benefit, and that has helped tremendously.
I would
Just-
think so, yeah.
And I would think that with City Park being flooded out too this year, that
There was a lot of it
probably
flooded out.
Yeah.
helped us out.
Now, Jeff, I don't know, at our meeting last week, we accepted the resignation of the Fords for managing the park out there. And Commissioner Waterman and Van Duzen stepped forward or stepped up and said that they would rework or work on the contract for the managers out there before we award it for next year. But as soon as that is ready for us, then we would be prepared to start looking at taking applications down the road for park managers. So that's where we are with that part of it, okay?
Okay.
All right?
And we are currently reviewing that contract and going through it, so that'll take just a little bit of time to do that, but it shouldn't be too
Milo and
long.
Carol are packing. I was out there yesterday.
What's that?
Milo and Carol are packing.
Yeah, okay.
I was out there yesterday and they had boxes, everything.
Okay.
Anything else for Jeff?
So then we may have to winterize that home then if they're not planning on staying there all winter, then we'll have
Oh,
to.
I think we just leave it heated all winter and it's all we ever done before.
Okay.
When Lee was out there, he'd go south for the winter.
Oh,
Just drive out and check it every couple of days and make sure the furnace is running.
okay.
I did meet with one of the board members from the Hockey Association and with the employees, Becky, Jody, and the custodian staff out at the Extension Building this week in reference to the Hockey Association had requested the use of the north building. I don't even know if they call that number 3 or what it is for sure. Or, I mean the south building for the hockey players to warm up, and they would warm up and then they could just buzz across the parking lot. Right now, the Hockey Association has a contract with the Watertown Park and Rec to use the field house, which is the old National Guard building, and that's where they go prior to hockey practice to warm up, stretch, do some running, and so on and so forth. And that's what they were asking about, if they could some way use that very south facility of ours. And at our meeting, we had a good discussion, and they said that they probably wouldn't be interested this year simply because they have the contract with the city, with the Park Rec and department, and the times are all blocked off already. And so that's pretty much set up for this year. But maybe looking down the road, the only issue that we had there is with the hockey players, if they use tennis balls, or if they use a different kind of a soft puck, they're still going to probably dent the walls. That steel out there isn't that good, and there's only about 8 feet of steel. Then above that is insulation, and those young hockey players, they call it lift the puck, and they probably put it right through the insulation. And the Hockey Association understands that, and they would step up and do any repairs. But the individual that I met with that was at that meeting was one of the Rieferberger boys, and of course he knows building and building materials pretty well. And he said, yeah, it'll probably get bent up, and and so at this point in time, I think that project is on hold. But what we did recommend, or did say that we would do, and the custodial help out there is very, very generous in helping, making sure that if they come out of the field house, out of the south door, they can cut kitty corner, right over to the ice arena and make certain, just to get the Bobcat out every day and clean it out, make certain that they got a straight shot through there, so they don't have to go through snow. And if they go right behind of the extension building, there's a gate back there, they can go right through there and then across the parking lot. But I totally understand that the concern is for the mites, or the little guys, the little ones, and I think the parents are still going to want to pick them up at the field house and take them over to the ice arena for practice or whatever. But that was the gist of our meeting that we had out there, just to kind of keep you in the loop so you know what's going on. Anybody have any questions about that? I think 2 new sheets of ice in the city of Watertown rather than a downtown park would have been a lot more appropriate, but that's just my opinion. That's my opinion, but we need some ice.
Hang in there.
Hang in there, man. Well, hang in there. Anything else?
Thanks, Jeff.
All right, thank
Thanks,
you.
Jeff.
Yep.
I'll stop down after the meeting and try to catch you. Or at
All
some
right,
point.
Rick, highway soup. Speaking of ice, we got a lot of ice out there this morning.
Well, if the sun would stay out, it'd help. Good morning.
Good morning.
We currently don't have any roads, county roads, that are underwater. We still have one that is closed. The rest of them we have open at this time, which is, we just opened County Road 10-1, which is 3 miles north of Henry. There was a spot in there that there was approximately 800 feet in one section that we had to build up. And then right less than a quarter mile east of that, there was like 500 feet we had to build up because of the lake that's there. We'll have to rip-wrap part of that, and we'll do that ourselves because it's not that big an area, but it's currently open now. And then they moved from there up to County Road 8-1, which is 6 miles north of Henry, and then back to the east about a half mile. There's a spot there that's roughly 1,300 feet that we're working on to build that up. And yesterday I was out there running the Packer tractor because we were a little short-handed, and it just rained and rained and rained all day long. So today we moved to County Road 23, which is south of Tinkertown, to start building that up. We're hauling reground material on that. That's a asphalt road. We'd already hauled some on that, but that's the one that we can work on when the weather's wet. So
How much lift are you going to put on that?
about 2 feet.
Wow.
Because we're gonna, our pile will be depleted of the stuff that we're using, and hopefully we can get some from the city that has the same material.
And when we're doing this, our culverts were okay, they're flowing?
Yeah, we're not pushing it out.
Making sure we got them in place?
Yep.
or cleaned out, or- Okay.
Yep.
Not plugging any colors anyway.
Yeah, we're
We
trying
won't.
not to.
We won't have to add any to it.
We have hauled a little gravel in the southwest part of the county. When we're working on a spot and we have to take a break from that to get it packed or whatever, we haul gravel in between. So our guys have got a lot of seat time since we started building these spots up. We've also had Steve Mullengraff. He's run the Packer tractor a couple times for us. When we're short-handed, I give him a call, and if he's got time, he comes and runs it. So
The biggest thing is how many miles it is that you have to haul.
yeah, there's a lot of
A lot of time.
miles. So
One thing that you mentioned at a meeting here a while back, and I want to reiterate, I know I had an individual talk to me this week about a semi, laid over in a slough somewhere, and you had mentioned, and we talked about that before, there's still a lot of corn out there to be harvested. There's thousands of acres out there, and these shoulders are really, really soft.
Yes.
You might think it's freezing up, but it isn't. Those shoulders are soft, and I think what happened to a couple of these trucks, they got a little bit too far over to the close to the shoulders and they just disappeared and rolled over. And I don't know if they completely rolled over, but they laid on its side. And I know up in the wind tower country up there, they laid a crane on its side the other day and it just sunk, you know, just got too close to the shoulder and it sunk. And so the roads are still soft.
Oh, yes, they're very soft. We had a accident earlier this fall where semi just drifted over on the shoulder right by a slough, and it from the blacktop, it took about 3 feet of the shoulder completely out, and the truck just plowed it right out of there. It was so soft.
And it was loaded with beans.
Yep, and he tipped it over in the water, so there was a semi and a load of beans that...
It's still there, by the way. The beans
Yep,
are.
the beans are.
The beans are still there, yeah?
Yep.
Rick, what happened to that tractor that you and I went out and looked at that day? Did that tip over, or did they
No,
get it pulled out?
they got it pulled out. I think they broke the hitch off it and it slid a little further.
Okay.
And then they were able to get it out of there.
That was another situation where they were going around a loader, and they shouldn't have, and got too close to the shoulder of the road and just about tipped her over,
Yeah.
so.
Or an SUV on that one when I was with you that just drove right into the, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really know what happened there. He just took a right turn into the water, so.
Yeah.
Last Friday, we started putting our wing posts and wings on our motor graders, getting those ready in case it would snow. We've got 3 of those that are outfitted to go. One of them that is not we're using that to work on the roads where we're building them up. So we'll hold off putting the wing post on that. And then we had another one that needed some windows replaced, so we'll get that when we get a chance to. So, and we're just working on stuff, getting ready for winter and working on roads where we can. So,
No snow gates.
yeah, we have no snow.
We have no snow gates. That's one good thing, right?
Absolutely.
That's why you get my mailbox every year. Or not just once, but 2 or 3 times usually, but. Anything else for Rick? Any other comments? Anything? Well, hang in there and let's hope we don't need those snow gates or those snow plows for a while, for a long while.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. All right, let's go on to item number 8, action to approve abatement application, and that, I think, there's a copy in your packet today. Cindy, fill us in.
This is a property record 10765. The Director of Equalization has submitted this application for abatement due to the buildings on the property being destroyed by fire. This has also been sent to the city for their action.
Move to approve.
Motion by Hatton, second by Commissioner Waterman. Any discussion?
Total abatement is $499.56.
Any more discussion? Anything else? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Let's go on item number 9, action to approve memorandum of understanding with the City of Watertown for pictometry data. That's a system that we've been using for several years now, and I think there is a memorandum or a little note in here from Shauna.
She's here.
Constant, it's in your packet. Did you all get a chance to read that?
Yes. Sean is here. Maybe you want her to come up and...
Did you want to come up? Oh, you're here. Come on up. I'm sorry. You snuck in on me.
He just walked in the door.
Oh,
Did you not hear
well, you
me?
snuck in. That's what you said. Do you have your paperwork with you? You want to use mine?
No.
Okay. All right, fill us in. Sell us on the idea.
Sell you. Well, sorry,
What-
so old.
Tell us all about the good
The
things.
good things. Well, this is for pictometry. This is our second, we do 6-year contracts. This is our second contract with pictometry. But the city actually is the ones that sign the contract, and then they bill us for our portion of the pictometry. This year, they'd wanted an MOU signed, just stating that, we are working together and we will pay for our portion. I did finally get a hold of the state's attorney yesterday.
I'll give it to
She
you
did
after
look
the
at it, and she thought everything looked okay.
I will give it to you after the meeting.
What was the cost Like what percent is it kind of going up from each year?
Well, it depends on, because you can't really, we're also getting better imagery, so just the cost of it going up a little bit is going to be some, plus the imagery is going to be some, so I don't know if you can really pull it out.
Put it down, okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Shauna? I would say, I'll answer one of the questions that you have here. Cindy has the original, and she will give it to me to sign it.
I'll make a motion that we approve this.
Second.
So the motion should be to authorize me to sign the memorandum of understanding.
Yep.
Is that okay? Brenda? Okay, and the second, motion by Hatton, second by Van Dusen. Any discussion?
Shauna has included this amount in her 2020 budget.
Yeah,
Yep.
kind of
Any
has an
other
idea
questions?
each year to budget for it.
Yep.
Any other comments? And it's very, very good. I mean, if, especially when we start working with some of the producers and they start talking about measuring wetlands and that type of thing, and if they think they got 30, 40 acres out there, and Shauna brings that up in front of them and it shows they got 26, they just say, yep, that's right.
Yeah, they can see it.
Yeah, because they can see it, yeah.
Also with the real estate agents, this is beneficial for them as well, but do they need to pay to utilize this?
They pay to utilize the website. County MapNet has a free site, and then what they pay goes into, it shows all the same stuff, but it shows in all of our information. So then they get the building information, year builds, pictures, sketches,
estate
all that
taxes,
stuff.
all
Yeah.
that.
So anybody can go into County MapNet and see certain things and some of the pictures, but just the overhead pictures, but not the actual.
For the more
building.
in-depth thing?
That's the fee site.
But this is the same, this data goes into MapNet for the
Yep.
public to look at, so.
Yep.
you know, and if people wonder where to get that you can just do Cottington County MapNet, or you can go through the First District's website
Yep.
to get to it, so.
Has everyone here used it or seen it?
Yes.
It's amazing. Yeah, you can see whose car's sitting in your yard even. So you got to be careful.
You can almost read the license plate.
Yeah, that's right. All right, any more discussion? Good discussion. Good comments. Any other items, any other discussion? See none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Hold same sign, motion carries. Thank you, Shauna.
Thanks, Donna.
Number 10, action to claims for payment. And do we have any today?
We have two. The first one is to Sharp Automotive in the amount of $33,125. This is for the 2019 Chevy that you authorized the highway superintendent to purchase. The second one is the amount of $1,006.47. And this is our Visa that we pay at this time of month to avoid service charges, and that was for the sheriff and jail travel and supplies.
Move to approve.
Motion by Hatton, second by Gable. Any discussion? Any discussion? I know that Rick said it wasn't in their budget, it wasn't a budgeted item, but he had the money to cover the purchase of this item. Any more discussion? Any more discussion? See none, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carries. What about action to approve automatic budget supplements? What do we have? We got some this
We have two
week.
today. The first one is to supplement the emergency management budget in the amount of $294.03. These were supplies for the tabletop exercise for POD, and we can reimburse their budget with POD grant funds. The second one is Homeland Security grant funds in the amount of $9,135 to the sheriff's budget, and that was for radios. that
Make a
were
motion to approve.
Motion by Van Dusen, second by Gable. Any discussion? Any discussion? I did have a visit with one of the community health nurses that participated in that tabletop, and said it was very, very good. Said that they were wondering how it was going to work out, but they were very happy with how it turned out. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Action approved personnel changes, we got a couple of them in the packet.
First one is Lisa Felch. She is a legal secretary in the state's attorney's office, due an anniversary step increase to step 6, $17.75 an hour. Jamie Monson is the Criminal Civil Records Manager in the State's Attorney's Office. Do a step increase to step 5, $21.43 an hour.
Are you the latest?
Motion to accept, motion by
Second.
Gable, second by Hanton.
Maybe there's
Any
liaison.
discussion? Any discussion? Anything, any discussion? See none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Travel requests, I see none this week.
We have one.
late
Just
comer, huh?
authorization for the treasurer and myself to travel to Huron tomorrow for the district meeting.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Hatton, second by Gable. Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. All right, public notice. I think 3 of these have already come and gone. The capital campaign, South Dakota Chamber of Commerce session update, and the grapple saw was supposed to happen this afternoon or today, and I don't know if they got rained out or what happened, but that's postponed to a later date. I think did you all get the emails last night? Good.
Tax.
Sioux Valley Commission district meeting is tomorrow. There probably won't, there might be a quorum there.
yeah.
It's possible, but just in case. Then Watertown VA Clinic open house is December 5th. Is that for sure now?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they have decided December 5th. Good. And opioid town hall meeting December 5th. That's the
I
same
would
day.
like a correction. Well, it basically, I just have a little bit more information. So it's going to be called, it is Thursday, December 5th, and for the Two Truths and a Lie opioid event, it is at the D.D. Miller, 6:15 to 8 p.m. is the time frame.
6:15 to 8 p.m.
Yep, and I will keep you updated as more things
And then
are
the-
details.
Capital Forum is December 6th at 10 a.m. to 3 o'clock in Cudahy County Extension, and there's a supplement in the packet. This is put on by Dakota Rural Action, and I was going to be sure and communicate with Luke yesterday in reference to this. I don't see him on the program at all, but I'm sure there'll be some good information that will be given during this session.
Yeah, I tried to contact Luke on this one also, and I couldn't, he was out of town or out.
I'm not
Looks
sure.
kind of busy.
Yeah, this,
Yeah, so I didn't get a call back on this.
Yeah. All right, what about old business? Is there any mature business that we need to bring before the board today? Any old business?
Mr. Chairman, just a note, it's kind of old and new on the, we had an extra clerk meeting yesterday by phone. So, as I mentioned before, I'm
What
on
kind of
the
meeting?
CLERP, Catastrophic Legal
Yeah.
Expense Reimbursement Program. I'm on the board to adjudicate claims. And we had one claim that came in after our regular meeting for Day County. And just to give people an idea, it's a murder case, and this is not the only claim for this particular case. But this particular pile of paper was $186,658.10. So these are murder cases when they hit a county are really expensive. And as a result of that, though, there will be another clerk assessment, so that the amount that they need to assess statewide is $115,000. So our portion of that, I guess, I'm guessing we'll see what but it's based on the population, the size, basically the size of the county, and a few other factors. But
How are we
so
doing
that's
on that budget?
$10,562 remains in the budget.
my guess is we'd be in that neighborhood for our part of that assessment. But since we're one of the larger counties in the pool. So just to give folks an idea at the meeting before that, how these claims are pretty sizable. One county, we reimbursed for $25,000. These are round numbers. Another one, $81,000. That was Dade County again for the same case. Another one for $117,000 for a murder case. Another murder case, $116,000. So it gives people, these are sizable things, so that's an important pool, just FYI.
I guess I would mention another point for old business would be the 211. I am working with Lisa Dow, United Way coordinator, and what we are trying to do, something that we thought might make sense, is try to get individuals who have agreed to helping us roll this out to get a 3-year commitment from them. And then that way we can kind of gauge it. The first year, of course, so here's my plan, which would be, I think, really nice for us to be able to do this. February 11th is 211 day. And so if we could get the ball rolling by mid-December, and then they would have a couple months to gather all of our information, we could do a rollout on 211 day. So I just think that would be, Brown County did that, but I just thought that might be a nice way for us to be able to let the public know, make it a public awareness sort of rollout. So that is what, and so the reason for the 3 years is the first year, it won't be a full year, the second year, and then the third year, we can look at the data and really analyze and see, is this a benefit to us or not? And if it's not, then you wouldn't continue it, but at least give us a 3-year amount of years or whatever, just to gather the data to figure that all out.
What was the initial cost? Remind me of that.
The
For
cost
county to
is...
county. It's all different. All counties are different.
Brenda, that issue was brought up at the city council meeting last night, and about funding that particular project, and if you could kind of elaborate so everybody that's watching and listening knows
Right.
how that's going to work.
So the county has to initiate it by resolution. So that is our, why it looks like the county. We would not want to fully fund that. We're hoping to get partners in the community to help with the cost of that. It's done by population, so they have us figured as 28,520 is our population. So the total cost is 26,238. Now, the Senate Bill 8, the state is doing a 50% match for all the counties in South Dakota that are going to implement this or have implemented it. So our local match then is $13,119 per year. So that is the amount that if we can get other partners involved, that we would all divide that cost up, and then get a 3-year commitment, and then at that point we can reevaluate it and see, is this a benefit to our community? And if so, then going forward, try to...
Councilman Glenn Vilhauer brought that up at the city council meeting last night, as I mentioned. It sounds like the city of Watertown is on board to support that project, and so that I don't imagine is going to be a problem for them, so that's going to reduce the
Do we have
cost.
that number buried in our budget anywhere?
We do. Commissioner's contingency, I don't know, we'll have to see if there's...
Depends on how far down it's going to be
Right.
split, too. If
Right,
you've got
and
4
so we
partners,
don't,
then-
if
We don't
there's
have a
4
real
partners
hard
or
number yet.
5 partners, it just depends on, you take that 13,119, if you get 4 partners,
Yeah,
divide it
10
by 4.
partners, that'd help.
So, I mean, we were figuring worst case scenario, we have 4 people that have stepped up so far. 4, not people, but...
Organizations.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, so the most it would be is approximately like $3,000, basically, if we'd all...
That's a good.
Who's going to field these calls?
3,500. That's
And
done
where is
through...
that going to be located?
That's done through, it's 211, it's done in Sioux Falls, and that's why they come into your community and they gather all of your information. So when it's a call from Cottington County, they give them the information that's pertinent to our Cottington County residents. Yeah. And they are very skilled, and they do their license, they have to be get qualified, or they're not just volunteers, put it that way, that they are very qualified in what they do.
So Charlie, if you go to 211.org, there's a lot of information on there about 211 and the service.
I think people need to understand that this is something we kind of came up, so we didn't put it in our budget, but there is commissioner's contingency. There may be other ways to save, and especially the more people, the more agencies that contribute to it, the lower the cost of the county will be. But I think we need to keep in mind the gist of what we're hearing is that this saves some law enforcement costs primarily because it eliminates a lot of those nuisance 911 calls. And so both for the county, for the sheriff, for the sheriff's office, and for the city police department, there are savings to be had. And so that's something that we need to keep in mind. The other thing is it's just a helpful source of information. It's kind of the, we still have 411, I guess, still exists, but this 211 is kind of somewhere in between a 411 and a 911. If that kind of helps people
What's
sort it out.
411? Help me again.
That was that was the old information number you dial if you just.
511 is when you're on the highway, right?
That's when you're on the highway. 811 is when you have to dig. So.
So this is,
Yeah.
this is another thing to keep in mind, that, we're all not sure of what next spring is going to be with flooding, and Sioux Falls and Madison and those communities had 211, so when they had their issues this summer, this was a great resource. Because it says in here, some of the bullets: during times of disaster, 211 provides important information on shelters, disaster status, evacuation areas and routes, donations needed, volunteers, listening and support. They know.
On and on and on.
Yeah, it's just.
So if you think about it, I mean, that's another huge benefit when you think about it, because if somebody doesn't happen to hear a radio broadcast or a TV broadcast about the information that, say, the public information officer for a disaster or a crisis needs.
In other words, this might put some of the radio announcers out of a job, right?
No,
I don't think so.
Yeah, I
but
can't
it's-
imagine nobody would
but
hear
it's
a radio
It's another
broadcast.
source. I mean,
Yeah.
it's another source to provide correct information.
You're right.
It's-
It's valuable.
How many years is the state going to fund to be a participant?
Nobody knows.
Just 1
what they-
year?
No, they put it in their budget, so obviously it's going to be a while, but they haven't stated how long they're going to do
It's,
it.
the way it was answered, we asked the same question when they presented to us, was it's a line item in the general budget or the general fund. So and that's kind of so the expectation is that they would continue to fund that.
I like it.
I have a map, and the green are all the counties that are currently signed up for 211, and then there's some that haven't, and then some that will be coming soon with the two different blues. So anyways.
We had a good explanation of the system at the fall meeting of the commission out at Pier, and the people from Sioux Falls were there, and they spoke very highly of it because of the disaster that they had in Sioux Falls with the flooding this spring and summer and so on. But I had some reservations on it. I was wondering how much overlap there would be between 911 and 211, but if we get that cost down there, $3,000 or less, or it's something that maybe we need to really take a hard look at.
Well, looking at this map, it looks like Watertown is one of the only bigger cities that does not participate currently. Is that right?
Yes.
There's Pier, and you have Rapid, Sioux Falls, Aberdeen.
Lincoln County.
Yeah, down in Lincoln
Aberdeen's
County.
pretty
So,
good. Brookline.
I was visiting
Brown
with the Clark County Commissioners, and I think they signed on now, but there it's $500.
Yeah, it's based on population, yeah.
It's based on population, and if there's
Yeah.
nobody out there, it doesn't cost them hardly anything, so it's
Well-
kind of a no-brainer there.
They're probably not going to use the resource as much as we will here in Covington either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they need to recognize there are 4 or 5 numbers that they use in Clark County or whatever it is,
Well, I think it's a good thing. I'm just concerned about the number of 1-1s that we're going to be dialing. Is it going to be the same as when we started with the ribbon thing?
We're gonna have a
We went
little-
the yellow and the blue and the pink and the purple and every other
Yeah,
color,
we'll
and now
hand
you don't see
Instead of
them at
looking
all.
at license numbers,
I don't know, to me, it doesn't
You know
seem
what
that
county the
confusing.
license number's from.
511's roadway, and anyway.
Refrigerator maintenance.
Something, it will take
I
some,
wouldn't even know. I'd have to Google it.
it will take some public awareness, but I was talking to Tim over at the chamber, and he said you'd be surprised at how many calls they field in a day too, that it would just simplify a lot of things. And some of the times when people call, they don't always know either where some of these
They can always be
resources are.
referred to that other number.
So it's just, I think it would be good. But, so are you guys on board? I mean, I guess we'll get it on the agenda. I'd like to kind of get going, so by
I'd
mid-December.
like to see some solid numbers. I'd like to know what it's going to cost.
I think we maybe need
Well,
to get on the agenda
that's-
for a few other
Yeah, maybe we can get it on, because then, I mean, we
Figure
can
out
leave
who-
it on, and then when I get that finished, that we can address it, because by mid-December, if we can roll it out, we can be on that 2-on-1
I think you
day.
have support among the commissioners here, but we just need to know what
Yep.
the dollar amount's going
And
to be and what
that's- we're working
organizations
on
are going to
that.
participate. So once we
All
get
right.
that, get her on the
Enough on
agenda.
that. How about anything else? Any
So
other
maybe
old
if you
business?
want to put it on the agenda for the weeks to come, possible action.
Any other old business? Seeing none, is there any new business that we need to discuss? Any other new business or any new business? Any new business? Seeing none, what about the open? Any public comments from any, no one out in the audience? How about commissioner comments? Anyone from anyone here? Got anything, burning issues in their back pocket or front pocket or
Mr.
whichever
Chair,
pocket?
I would like to see a few comments. It's been a lot in the news media, of course. The Goss Capital Campaign was held this past week, a huge event for our community here in Watertown. Big donations came in to support that project. $3.85 million project, which is going to help revitalize the downtown area, no question about that. Also, another big announcement from the Watertown Community Foundation, $500,000 contribution to help to build the downtown park, another big deal. A lot of stuff going on downtown, a lot of community activity. I see Chris is in the pews out there this morning, so I'd like to publicly thank him. I sit on the Development Company Board of Directors as well with Chris, and his efforts in helping revitalize our community. It's not just a county issue, it's not just a city issue, it's a county issue too, because that revenue is going to help benefit Cottington County. Those are huge projects. The Lofts project is a $6 million project. What's going to happen with the Palace coming down and new buildings going up there in addition to the park? So I'm not on a soapbox, but what I'm saying is that the economic development to not only the city but to the county is vital, and I want to thank people for supporting what's going on right now, because it's big. No matter where you build it, if it's in Cottington County, it affects us right here in the county coffers, and we appreciate the support. So a lot of stuff going on in downtown Watertown. Pay attention to it, educate yourselves on it, and let's get moving on it. So thank you very much, Chris.
Chris might have been involved in that, but I did hear, I saw I don't know if it was the artist rendition of, after they knocked down that, and rebuild the senior citizen center and so on, and
Chris.
I saw how it's supposed to look pretty doggone nice. The only thing is, there's still no ice, and,
Well,
I just keep on you guys, and I'll keep on you. That's just my deal right now. Is I see all these little kids going to hockey practice at 6 a.m. and at 8:30 at night, and that bugs me.
that park is going to be absolutely beautiful, Mr. Chair, and what that's going to do to the downtown area is, those are two separate issues.
So just Chris Shilkin, Watertown Development Company, thanks for the opportunity to speak. Correct on the ice arena, I mean, that's definitely needed, but we're proposing some solutions for that. As far as the downtown park, I think what people have to realize is that the park itself, the donation for the park, is really going to pay for about 1/3 of the park. So when you look at a total per cost project, if you were to put that towards the ice arena, it's going to cover anywhere from 2 to 3%, where this would help pay for about 1/3 of the park. The other thing with the senior center, none of that is decided yet. The senior center people are in discussion with the developer about maybe some new space, and we've also reported or visited with them and said, you guys don't have to do anything if you don't want to. You can keep it the same. It's really up to you guys. Do you want more of an updated space, maybe more efficient? I know they said they want a larger kitchen, so all those things are being talked about. And I think the biggest thing there was that corner. If you can do the park there, the Palace had to be renovated or removed to have different housing structure there and we do need housing in general, so it's kind of two birds with one stone, develop downtown and get more housing as well. So
The individual I visited with was a senior citizen and was pretty positive about, some possible new facilities and something happening there. And of course, the artists make it look really nice.
Oh, and it will look nice. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what we forget is that these projects do happen other places. So that when we were looking for developers, we did look for local developers, we looked for in-state developers, and then we looked for out-of-state developers, and we pretty much took the first one that took the bait, and it was about a year process of interviewing different people to do stuff. So when you go tour their projects they've done in Fargo, that's what they look like. So
Chris, I have a question about the developer from being out of state. The resolution that we passed this past year, did that have any effect on his decision to come to Watertown?
Oh, yeah, I mean, they're doing, in North Dakota, they get 10 years of no property tax. So as far as, I know it's a state issue here, not a county issue, so when these developers are developing outside of South Dakota, like in North Dakota, you get 10 years on top of TIFs. I mean, they're doing a lot of, I'd say, more aggressive property tax stuff than we are in the state. I would say we're probably the most aggressive as a county, going to 0% for 5 years, which definitely a lot of people took notice of that when you guys passed that. Got a lot of phone calls from other economic developers saying, I wish our county would do that. So that certainly helps us in what we're trying to do.
Good.
So,
All right.
and also appreciate the support as well from the county, so thank you.
You bet. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks for all you've done, Chris.
And
Keep up the
just
good work.
for the record there, that wasn't planned. It just was Chris who happened to be sitting in the audience. And so, again, thank you for everything you're doing.
Chris spoke at the retired teachers meeting this past week and did a good job and had a lot of good questions from those retired teachers. Those retired teachers, they hang on to their buck pretty tight, you know, so they want to know what's going on. Anything else? Any other new business? See none. Anybody have any reason for an executive session? I have not had a
make a
request for an executive session.
Motion to
A
adjourn.
motion by Hatton to adjourn, a second by Waterman, and all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, we are adjourned, and we did pretty good. It's 10 to 10.
Not officially, but a little side note, did everybody read the text from Terry?